Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Banas. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the best exercises for fat loss and how you're going to be able to finally get rid of the fat once and for all. But why listen to me? Well, I'm a certified chiropractic sports physician. I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist, and I'm also a certified triathlon coach. But probably more importantly, why you should listen to me is because I used to weigh 270 pounds myself, lost over 60 pounds, and I went from a fat man to now a 7-time Ironman Triathlon Finisher. Now, I'm not saying you have to do the Ironman Triathlon to drop weight. In fact, you actually would want to train a lot less. Okay, so I know a little bit about physiology and I know a lot about weight loss. And if you follow the information I give you in this presentation, you will be finally able to lose weight. Okay, so let's get to it. The keys to weight loss, okay? Now, I know we mentioned this is about exercises, but we need to diet, okay? So these are basically the 4 keys that we went to weight loss. We want to follow a low carbohydrate ketogenic diet, and I'm going to go over each one of these in more detail. But we want a ketogenic diet. We need to do high intensity intervals. We want to do weight training combined with cardio sessions, easy fat burning sessions, and then cold thermogenesis every day. Now I'm going to break down each one of these areas just so you know exactly what you need to be doing. And if you follow this, this will be the last weight loss program you ever have to do. Okay. Low carb ketogenic diet. Okay, now basically what is a ketogenic diet? Ketogenic diet is a little bit higher fat, low carb with a moderate protein. Okay, so we really want to reduce the amount of carbohydrates you have in your system to allow your body to burn fat. Remember, if this we're talking about fat loss here. We want to lose weight and fat loss. Okay, so we got to get rid of those carbohydrates. Now, this is not Atkins. We're not saying we want you to eat all tons of protein. Okay, we do need to watch our carbohydrates. So instead of fueling our body in carbs, we want to teach our body how to burn fat as a primary source of fuel. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try to limit your carbohydrates to 100 grams or lower. Okay. Now, on days you might want to exercise harder. Now, on harder, I'm talking about exercising for 2, 3, 4 hours, okay? And you don't have to do that to lose weight. But some people who might want to drop weight and then do some heavier training, on those days you could actually increase your carbohydrates a little bit higher. But for the majority of people who just want to lose weight, by exercising maybe an hour a day, we want to limit our carbohydrates to 100 grams or lower per day. Now, protein can get turned into sugar, so we don't want too much protein. So we want to eat about a half a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh about 160 pounds, you're going to take in about 80 grams of protein and spread that out throughout the day. Now, the protein sources you want to do are the protein recommendations we have in the Superhuman Food Pyramid, which you could get on my website, banasportstherapy.com. That Superhuman Food Pyramid is actually going to have a list of all the good fats, the good carbohydrates, and the good protein. So you're going to want to use that as your food list. So now these would be some examples of what your breakfast would be, your lunch, your snacks, if you're following this ketogenic diet. So it'd be a couple of eggs with the yolks, a little spinach or some type of vegetable scrambled in a pan. Now this is actually, we're talking about coconut, or this is called medium chain triglycerides is what you can use to cook. Okay, so lunch would be kind of like a coconut smoothie with some protein powder and a few berries, snack, a few almonds, and then dinner would be some meat within butter. And I know that that's going to sound, people are going to say butter, and you just stay away from that. We actually want a little bit more fats in our system. So this would be a sample meal. Here would be another sample. I'm not going to read everything to you on this, but you get to go ahead and read this. So once we got that diet down, okay, like I said, it's called the ketogenic diet, and that's the guidelines you're going to follow, and you're going to want to follow the foods in the food pyramid that you get off our website. Okay, so here is what we do. We want to do high-intensity intervals, okay? 3 times a week we want to do all-out intervals, okay? Now, we could use jump rope. You could just, I'll go into more detail on this here in a second. But the intervals can be jump rope. It could be sprinting distances, running as fast. It could be cycling on or an indoor trainer. It could be just standing up and doing air squats. It could be elliptical. It could be exercises like pulling this tire really hard for 20 seconds. It could be doing push-ups for 20 seconds. It could be doing lat pull-downs for 20 seconds. The purpose is we want to do high-intensity intervals about 3 times a week. Okay? Now, here's some example of intervals. The little method would be a 3-minute warm-up, and then basically 60 seconds all out cycling or running as fast as you could go, and then 75 seconds slow walk or easy cycling, and then you would repeat that for about 12 cycles. Okay? Now this is best for intermediate level, those who want to be flexible routines, and if you have about a half an hour to do the exercise. So you're going to do this, like I said, this could be a 3-minute warm-up, then 60 seconds a fast run, fast bike, then 75 seconds easy walk, easy bike, and you repeat that for 12 times, and that'd be a half an hour. Okay, and that's good for intermediate. You're doing this 3 times a week. Okay, now this is the Tabata sprints are someone who, if you're already really fit, we want that 3-minute warm-up, and then this is 20-second all-out, 10-second rest, and then 20 seconds repeat that. The key here is only going to do this rest for 10 seconds. You're going to repeat this about 8 times. This is really intense because it's a short recovery. So again, this could be push-ups, it could be run sprints, it could be doing jump ropes, but the protocol here is 20 seconds all-out sprinting, 10 seconds rest, and repeat that about 8 times. Okay, now this type of training is, again, intermediate. Okay, the turbulence training. Again, it could be jump rope, push-ups, bench press, but this is a 3 to 5 minute warm-up, 8 sets of lifting, 1 minute of, this is called mountain climbers, or it could be called burpees or whatever. It's just a full body workout. The main thing we want to get you out of these protocols is we want to do them all out, high intensity. Okay, so what we have here is, so we did our intervals, so you're doing those. Now we want to do weight sessions combined with cardio, okay? So what I'm talking about here is maybe you would go for a run for 20 minutes and then you would stop in your weight session here. You don't have to belong to a gym. So you could run for 20 minutes, and then after 20 you stop. And you can do 20 push-ups, 20 air squats. You could throw a rock here 20 times, and then you run another 20 minutes, and then you repeat that. So the idea is weight session combined with cardio. So our cardio session is right here. So we could be at the gym. We ride a bike for 20 minutes. Then you go and do some bench press, some leg press, some lat pull downs, then hop back on your bike for another 20 minutes, and then repeat that. Okay, it could be running and picking up a rock, something heavy, and throwing it. The idea is what we're doing is we're combining cardio with the weight session. Okay, now we also want easy, fasted, fat-burning sessions. Now I'm not going to go into huge detail on this right here because I have an entire video that talks about this. Okay, the main thing is what you're going to do is you need to find your fat-burning zone. Ideally, you want to use it by a VO2 metabolic test. That's going to be the gold standard, which is this guy doing right here. There is a formula I talk about in this video, but I talk about this in this video. But you're going to want to do this 2 to 3 times a week. Wake up in the morning without having breakfast and go for an easy walk or bike ride in your fat burning zone that I talk about in the video. So go to this video right here and watch how to find your fat burning zone. Okay, now you're also going to want to do cold thermogenesis. Okay. And cold thermogenesis is basically frequent exposure to cold. I know this will sound a little bit crazy for some of you, but really this really will help you drop the weight. And there's a whole protocol. We're showing this right here as far as ice baths. But ideally, you want to start slow. You want to actually start by just putting your face in ice baths, just trying to get the hair stand up. Sit in your car with the air conditioned cold. Anything you do to make yourself get a little bit cold, okay? So what I'm talking about here is filling the bath with cold tap water. You wear socks. This is more of an advance. What I suggest you start doing is just start off by putting your face in some ice water in the morning for a couple minutes. And then just start trying to take baths, being a little bit cold, okay? Once that becomes adapted to that, start throwing a little bit of ice, but you want to do the cold thermogenesis. Okay, so let me go back to the beginning right here. Okay, so the keys to the weight loss, you're going to follow that low carbohydrate ketogenic diet. You're going to do high intensity intervals. You're going to do the weight training combined with cardio sessions, and then you're going to do easy fasted fat burning sessions, and then you do cold thermogenesis. These are the keys to weight loss, and this is what's going to get you where you need to be. Now, if you need a little more help, okay, if you go to my website right here, I have some more videos on my site, but I also offer online coaching. So if you just want me to help coach you, go to my website. I also have some pre-made training plans. So you may sit there and go, okay, well, how exactly do I add the cold therapy? How do I add the fasting weight sessions? How do I add that into the program? On my website right here, banasportstherapy.com, I have pre-made training plans that tell you exactly what to do every day. So it just says Monday, here's my workout. Tuesday, here's my workout. And I have in those already the fasting sessions, the cardio sessions, all that's laid out for you so you can just follow that. I also offer phone or Skype consultations, so if you want a little bit more one-on-one training, go ahead to my website, give me a call, or drop me an email. If you have any questions about this type of information, just post in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can.